Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 is pretty much plastered all over Netflix, YouTube. So I want to talk about my thoughts. I will sort of be discussing this a bit differently than usual instead of having photos, because I do want to sort of take some key parts of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 down, of course, for you guys. But I just want to say Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3, in my opinion, was alright. It wasn't the best Dragons Rising thing to obviously come out. There's a couple of things that I'm going to talk about that disappointed me. But at the same time, there was something that I did find beautiful about this season. I think the ninja had a great arc, nonetheless. I think I first want to say thank you, Doc White, for being able to take all these characters. You have Kai, Rogue, Jay, Cole, Zane, Lloyd, Nia, Aaron, Wildfire, Pixel. You took 9 characters. Heck, I forgot Frack 2. 10 characters. You took a lot of characters out there. Actually, that's 11. Ryu. You took these characters, 6 ninja plus Pixel, 7 characters that we've always loved and grown with. You brought Eren, Sora, Wildfire, Frack, Ryu. That's 12 characters. You wrote a story for 12 characters. Yes, Cole wasn't really in it, but you were able to do something that I felt that Ninjago would struggle with. Hence, they didn't. Now, I will start talking about what I disliked because that will get into it. Let's talk about the Forbidden Five. No, I was very excited for these guys. Forbidden Five. Now, the Forbidden Five, if your name was not Rocked, Knocked, I don't know why I said Rocked. If your name was not Knocked or Rocks, no one gives two shits. Honestly. Now, I'm very disappointed in a couple of areas, mainly with the Master of Misfortune. Misfortune would have been a cool power to see on screen, but was very disappointing. So, sorry, Zoc, you kind of suck. Drix. Drix was really, in my opinion, out of the 5, he seemed pretty cool for several reasons. Now, one, I kind of assumed this from the show itself, but just the way Drix is a wasp, an insect sort of thing, you would think that he would be able to just be himself and just say, and bees flourish. But he didn't. He literally put a hole out of his stomach and let it rip. Love that. I think he was the best out of the other 3 that we didn't see in season 2. He was probably the best Forbidden Five member this season. Going back to another character, I don't really want to talk about Noct at the moment. Because do we have like Kerr? Kerr, your power is absolutely shit. I'm not gonna lie. Reason I say that is, that it was pretty cool. Kerr. I'm still confused. Is this guy he, a she? I'm pretty sure it's a she. I'm confused. But hence, great look, great character design. Why didn't you kill him? Should have just killed him. Okay. Besides that, the Forbidden Five, I felt like they were wasted true potential. Admittedly, Rox surprised me. Also, she's a bit of a planner, but she's also a bit of a, in my opinion, she's very smart. She knows what she wants. For someone that's been doing this for a long time, I expect a little bit more maturity. The Wish episode kind of is my favorite for Skybound reasons, but in a nutshell, the best way I can explain this here is I think Roxit works best when she's leading and being organized and not being a nitwit. She was a bit of a nitwit towards the end, in my opinion. Just the way how she handles stuff. Now, I've only watched Ninjago Dragons Rising once, season 3 once. I've got to watch it a couple more times to understand a couple more things. That's how my brain does work, sadly. But Rox, just in my opinion, needed to just work things out. And the other three that weren't freed don't listen at all. Besides, I think Kerr listens to Rox. Noct, on the other hand, is a bit of a stupid brother. It's not what I saw in the flashbacks, though. So I want to talk about Noct. Noct didn't have much to do this season, but I see why. Noct only went after Zane for the Prismatic Blade, but I like something here. Noct's journey is interesting if you look at it from a season 2 perspective. Noct doesn't give two shits what Rox is doing. If you look in the background, and I could see this massively in the clips that we had gotten, if you look in the background, Noct does not want any part of this. I'm being honest. He's only doing this for his sister. Now, in conclusion to this, all I've got to say is, you're an idiot, Rox. You got yourselves killed. Because even in episode 9, you definitely do see... not go after Oz. Yeah, to me that was perfect. Still don't know how everyone wanted to go into that battle, but still, Noct won. I think that was pretty cool. Now, a better question is the Forbidden Five dead? Now, if you still clicked onto this video, and you're still listening to this point, this video is obviously going to spoil it. So, they get eaten. Python got eaten, they got eaten, Kalmar got eaten, they got eaten. Who wouldn't get eaten by someone that you resurrected? Opened the gates to saying hell, pretty much. So, in conclusion, are they dead? I want to sort of say yes, but I also don't want to say no. I don't really want to get into this topic, and I'll probably do a discussion in a week's time about this, or in a couple days' time, because there's a lot to unpack. I just don't want to know if they're dead or alive. I'm hoping they're dead. Reason being is I kind of don't want to see them again. Something about this season showed me that they don't work best against the ninja as a team. They work best, in my opinion, solo. I think Noct is a great example of this. Pure strength in the tournament was used better, and for the time we've known Noct, he worked good as a solo villain. For the time we saw Rox, she works good as a solo villain. Trix, on the other hand, works well as an elemental master being forced into something like Cinder. The other two are shit, but still, they work nicely being those elemental masters doing stuff for their masters. Make sense? Cool. I don't want to see them return. I do like Rox and Noct. Do I want them to return? Not really. Not really. Not really. Hence the June sets, if you haven't seen, do have these guys in them. If they do return, I don't care. I don't know. I don't... They got eaten by Thunder Thing, who turns into Spectral Thorn. Thunder Thing dead. And this is another thing that we'll talk about. I've got to go to my YouTube video because I don't think it'll come up. So if you didn't see the ending, of course, he pretty much turns into this massive beast. He turns spectral. Cool thing about this is though, he'll eat the souls, and when he was pretty much dying, he had everyone in his stomach. The souls went inside. I'm gonna presume he ate them. Like I said, they're probably hard to digest, but still, that's why he was in that foul mood. So that's definitely what happens. He also sucks Moro in as well. Hope to see a conclusion to that and Moro be in the next chapter. I have to say though, I do hope we do see the Arc Dragon of Focus. Now, another thing that I do now, let's get on to the things I do like. I like how Pixel returns. I like how Aaron and Sora. I'm gonna sort of make this part very quick and short because I do want to make my breakdown video, so I do want to discuss these stuff there. I do like how this works that they're going to go together. Hate that we got a spoiler for season 3 part 2, but still. Hence though, I do like the idea on when Ninjago's going with their characters, especially Jay. I don't want to talk about this too much, but Jay is still Jay without his memory, and his soul, in my opinion, may just slightly be shattered by not a huge margin. I'm hoping he only ever used Shadow Spin once. We're only gonna find out. Now, each character was introduced very well, so I am gonna only quickly right now break down Frack, Lloyd. Lloyd only because there's interesting stuff about Lloyd that I want to talk about. I'm gonna quickly talk about Zane, Pixel, and Jay. So we'll talk about Jay quickly. Him being this mercenary, I found very interesting. Actually, Jay's in this season a lot more than you'd think. Something else I find very interesting about Jay is he works well when he's not talking those episodes. He works as mysteriously as you think. He works as strongly as you think, but he's still our Jay. The one thing I don't like about this season much about him though, maybe we never got a conclusion to that arcade arc in episode 3 or was it 4? I didn't like that because it felt important. And when we see Jay next, he hands that trophy over to someone that he found. I wish that got told a bit better. It just didn't work. I wish the arcade thing came out again and was something explored because it feels wasted after you look at that. But like Nia said, this did happen. It had to be Jay. So I do appreciate that Jay does have some memories. Obviously, Kai being the high score did work and do something. And I'll talk about Kai in a separate video, but just Kai didn't seem Kai, but I'm gonna guess being stuck in Neverspace and it just being a week, he just wanted to have some freedom and have some laughs. So I can understand that. Okay, let's quickly talk about Pixel. Pixel comes back, and I've got to say, you shocked me a bit. I didn't think Pixel would be as good as I thought this season. What did I just say? I think she worked really well. I just they shocked me on how well they did, if that makes sense. I expected it just to be a push. Oh, she's back, welcome back. But she and Zane, which we'll get now into Zane, did work. She obviously doesn't know what's going on. She has no clue about the merge. I love the way Zane reenacts stuff, though. That was told beautifully. He could have transformed into them. That was pretty cool. But it worked, right? Ninjago Dragons Rising made something actually work. And the Zane character build this season, like Doc White said it would? Yes and no. I definitely think this is an improvement on Zane. Zane's last couple of seasons have been absolutely trash. Something worked here that needs to be explored. Now, there's truth to this logic, do not get me wrong, but if Zane and Pixel next season are going out on a mission, solo, and then come back with the ninja, I'll find that pretty cool. I think the whole thing, these two ninjroids searching the realms, the merged lands, would be cool. Firstly, we need a map. Get it. So I think that's going to be sick that these two will figure that out. And number two, I think the love arc there just needed to be explored. I think the reason they worked well this season is because they dared to explore something that previous seasons kind of just missed out on. quickly getting to Frack, because I don't really have a bit of an opinion. I think he has room to grow. And I'm gonna take a wild guess if the season 3 part 2 descriptions are correct. I think the best way he grows is with Cole and Kai. Only reason being, he takes two parts of these characters. He takes Cole's power, he takes Kai's confidence and over cockiness a bit. He's too determined in his own self and his own confidence that he doesn't even know he's being confident. And in another way, he's a bit like Cole as well. He's trying to lead a bit, but it's just his confidence that's getting in the way. Similar to how Wildfire is a bit, but I don't think her her overconfidence in her leadership is like how Frax is. And I just think Frax's just whole mentality, to be honest, is just very pushy and a bit too much. He definitely has a crush on Sora, that's for sure. We definitely saw that. But I don't know. There's some interesting stuff we obviously can take away from it. Alright, so getting on to Lloyd. No visions this year. Pretty cool. He's obviously started to grasp a hold. Obviously, there's only a week between season 2 and season 3, part 1. So, that was pretty good. I made a video before talking about the Spinjitzu change. That was pretty cool too. I think the best moment for me was seeing Lloyd in the first realm. Or the first land. That was pretty nice. I don't know what else to really say. I enjoyed season 3 Lloyd's character growth. There's just parts where I felt like he should just shut up. Especially in the Wish episode. I feel like, sad to say this, but I feel like that's my favorite episode. There's just a part where Lloyd starts, they're figuring out how to use the sword, prismatic sword, and Lloyd just talks when Sora comes in. Before Sora comes in, and he's like, I don't know how this works. Pixel, Zane, and Frack are quiet as hell. No word, no peach. And he's talking out of nowhere. Just, Lloyd, shut up. Just shut up. So, that was the only thing I just didn't like about Lloyd. He just said some stuff that, just stop. Just be quiet, bro. Besides that, I think all around season 3 was great. Quickly want to get into Mora. Mora was really good. I like his arc. That is going to be a special video where we talk about the Spectre realm itself, and I'll get into that in the breakdown video as well. But I want to now leave this on a high note. Was Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 good? Did it answer our questions? Yes, and maybe. Ninjago Dragons Rising is really good. Season 3 is great. Okay. But there are small things that I didn't like, especially the Forbidden 5, that need to be reworked, I think, in a better way. Thunderfang, absolutely sick. Great villain. Great dragon villain. Hard to defeat. Every character arc, really good. But did it answer some of our questions? Let's quickly get into one of our massive questions. Why was the Earth shaking? Not the answer we were expecting, but still great. We will obviously maybe find out that in a couple of seasons' time, or if the descriptions are true, part 2. Aaron's parents alive or dead? Well, Jay answered that question for us, so we found that out. Is Lord Roz an absolutely master manipulator? Hell yeah, we saw that a lot. But did we find out he's master? Yeah, we did. I think we did, at least. I'm going to do a separate video about that. But I'm pretty sure we figured out he's master. And he's master has already gone into Aaron a bit. And I want to talk about that in a separate video. Tell me your thoughts about Season 3 in the comments. This is just my quick opinion on Season 3 entirely. I think Season 3 worked out pretty well. In the comments down below, let me know your thoughts about this. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.